You get a bit of the
I
perspective.
get
That's
it.
the perspective that
It's actually, James talked about it by the way. Yeah.
He really loves this topic a lot.
Yeah, James talked about it. He was like, when someone comes to an event, don't just place them at the front of the room just because they look the part. You know, they might look the part, but their heart is rotten.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing that I'm like, when did we start misplacing our priorities wrong? When did we start placing our priorities based off of hair?
On the suit.
On the suit. On this is how it's supposed to be. When did we stop placing our priority on the fruits? Because we shall know them by the fruit.
Exactly.
You know, you shall know them by the fruits. And Donald talked about it in the last episode. He was like, bro, one thing about fruits, it takes time. You just don't, you know, like he was saying, like you just shake a tree, then be like, you know, your fruits just start appearing. You know what I mean? It takes time to cultivate fruit. And fruits, for fruit to actually grow, it needs also the right necessary conditions. That's water, sunlight, and all that. Where do you get that from? From spending time with God.
Yeah. And the church teaching us that.
Yeah, yes, continue.
So I was just on the same thought line that growing up, I was seeing religion, and religion is so dry, you see. And growing up, we have a lot of questions that can't be answered by, you know, you can't answer some questions. You see, there's some things about me that only God could answer. So I'm coming and I'm saying, bro, okay, you're doing all these things, but a lot of things doesn't make sense. You get me? And I had a lot of questions. Now, I'm getting into this situation. I messed up with a girl and stuff like that. And then I am so confused. What I started doing, I knew for a fact that I needed to change. So I was telling myself, I need to change.
Yeah.
I feel in my soul, I need to change. I feel like I'm not called to stay into that way eternally. You see? And so I started like thinking of ways to change. I started reading books. I started reading books. I read books. And then stopped doing some things for a while, then falling back into them.
Yeah.
You get?
And it's part of it.
Yeah. Stopping, falling back worse. Stopping weed, falling back worse. Yeah. And all of a sudden, I got that episode now when I was almost expelled from school. Yeah. And then my mom came. So I told you my mom is a woman of prayer. Yeah. Strong woman. She's kind of big like this. And she used to beat me up. I was stubborn. You see, I was stubborn. But like one of the things that was cheap was a slap, at least. Yeah.
Oh, that was the
dance. And then that was like bare minimum. You get it? So now I'm having this episode when they are calling my mom at school. Let me give you a bit of background of how crazy I was at that time. I was doing drugs and stuff like that. And then I was stealing a lot of cash. I was literally stealing. When I would go home for holidays, I was steal like 1,000 USD every week from my dad. Yeah. You see?
They go through the card?
Huh?
Through card?
No, like where they will keep the cash.
You guys must have this mind of, I mean, for you guys to have just $1,000. Like,
and then I will take this and go spend it with a G.
Yeah.
You get? So they say the car and stuff like
Did
that.
you say 1,000 per month or 1,000 per week? Okay.
And then
I found someone who's nearing your story.
And
we share that in common.
Is almost there. Same.
He used to swipe his dad's card.
Bro, I used to get the cash, you see, properly, and then go spend. And now that brought again an issue between my parents, because at that time they were kind of getting closer, and then they thought that only them knew where each one is keeping, like what they're keeping the cash. So when I took the cash, everyone was like, it's you, man. Yeah. But that's another story. It's done. Then I got caught, like stealing the cash. And then few days later, I went home drunk and stuff. My dad was like, I'm pissed with this kid and stuff. Then I go back to my boarding school. 2 weeks in, they are calling my parents that they want to expel me. You get? So at this period of time, my dad is like, this kid, first of all, he's a thief. You see? First of all, he's a thief. Secondly, and like, there was actually no connection between me and him. We'll just meet at home and like, gotta change it. He's a thief, he's a drug addict and stuff. By the way, if they expel him from school, you just go, you just look for where you'll go. So he tells that to my mom when they're calling my parents at night, like to come the next day to pick me.
Yeah.
My mom prays the whole night to pray, like, God, you have to do something.
Manzi.
I know you've called this kid to serve you.
Yeah.
You have to do something. Next day, my mom comes to school. For me, I expect my mom should come, she'll try to slap me. The whole night, I'm doing my push-ups and stuff. I'm like, what will happen? You know? And then I come, I meet mom, like, guys tell me, your mom is in school. Okay, let's go. I go where she is. I'm expecting like hot things because of the things I've been doing. And she comes to me, she hugs me, and she starts crying. She says, why are you doing this?
Oh my God, she just embraced you.
Yeah, just hugged me. She said, why? You're brilliant. You're smart. Why? She started crying. That part affected me. We went, our prayers worked. They didn't expel me. The headmaster was a pastor. It was a Christian school. Yeah. In which I was doing all these crazy things. Then the headmaster said, I was to expel you guys. We were a group of you guys, and said, but the Lord told me you're the guys who will change this country.
Oh wow.
That I should give you another chance.
Oh wow.
So this is the last warning, but the Lord told me, it hit me. We got from this meeting, sat with my mom, and she's crying and she's telling me, I know you're frustrated. I know everything that's been going through your life and stuff. Now I'm not coming like fighting you or stuff, but you're hurting me. Everything you're doing is hurting me. So I realized I was hating my dad because of cheating and hurting my mom, but I was doing the same thing, hurting my mom and hurting other women around me. So I was like, I told mom at that time, she was crying and I started crying. I started crying saying, Mom, no, don't cry and stuff. I started crying. Then I told her, Mom, I'm trying to change, but I'm not able to. I've been trying so hard to read books, but I'm not able. And then she told me, try Jesus. If there is the one who can change you. So that's when now I got saved just with the mentality that I heard the testimony of another guy who was deeper in drugs. Yeah. And then I was like, Mom told me a few months ago, try Jesus. You get the type of thing.
Can I just take a pause on that?
I want to shoot you testimony.
Yeah. Can I take a pause? Can I just take a moment and just reflect on how much powerful love is?
Yeah, deep. Now, yeah, shitting, but we can go there.
Before that, Kidogo, as you're saying that, I looked at so many men out here who want to change, but have said what Mano said, I'm trying to change, but I can't change. But can you try Jesus?
Yeah.
Because, man, our masculinity is being fought like crazy.
Yeah.
We can't be men we can't, because the men before us are not holding us to become those men. And it's affecting how we see Jesus.
Yeah, or rather they're actually not taking us to the man.
Because they don't know the man. Though.
Yeah.
They don't know the man, and they can't replicate a model closer to that man.
Yeah.
So when you see Jesus, you see unconsciously, Jesus is the man who can't love my mom. You know, Jesus is the man who sees my dad beat us up when he's drunk.
Right.
You know, Jesus is just like, because if that's your definition of masculinity, and what fatherhood is, you can't really fathom when God tells you,
for sure.
I love you. Man, it's...
I feel
and let me even finish, Kindogo, just cool up on that. I really want also just to take us back in this sort of way. let's just talk about, how much powerful love is. And how much also, and how much love can accomplish. Because here's the thing, I feel the reason as to why. Okay, let's just let me go back to every scenario that love taught or love reached out. I mean, I'm just taking back to the woman with the issue of blood, taking back to the woman who was just sleeping around, who was a prostitute. He came to Jesus. He ran to Jesus. There's a statement I read somewhere that if someone was to find you at your worst, that person will want it to be Jesus. Is it making sense?
Yeah.
Because, bro, maybe it's the society of how much you have been brought. That's what you're telling me. Because if you've been brought in an abusive parental place, you'll always view Jesus as being an abuser. Because the first place in which you interact with God is with your parents when you're young. You know what I mean? The first perception in which you go. So it's like, this is how God is how your parents, folks are treating you. So you automatically project that on him. Like, you know what I mean? So
not even directly.
Yeah.
It's indirect.
Yeah. And also, like, let's just look at how powerful love is. Because at every time, someone the Samaritan woman with the 5 husbands and all that, look at how powerful love was. Jesus just embraced that lady. And it was through embracing them that the power flowed now to be able to kind of sort of help that lady now come off of her.
I get you. And I agree with that. I think on that I have a lot, I can preach. Can I preach a bit on that? I think love is the most powerful thing in the spiritual realm. It's the most powerful asset we have, right? Because love is something that all of us, we are created for. God is love, but all of us, we are in need of love. It's like a genuine need to receive and to express it. Everything. And then now the law was there. The Bible, Galatians says that the law was a tutor before the grace. So the law was just teaching us few things before the grace came.
Yeah.
But then Jesus is summarizing this law with love. Like, love God with all your heart, and then love man the way you love yourself. Yeah. So you see, by that, there are dimensions of love.
Yeah.
You see, I love God.
Yeah.
Through that, I learn to love myself. Through that, I'm able to love him. Right? But then,
the vertical horizontal.
Yeah. So I received the love of God. John used to call himself the disciple that the master loved most.
Yeah.
But then John said that we love him because he first loved us. You see, so our love to God is not because we have decided to love him. It's because our eyes open to the love he had for us when we were at our worst. But Romans 5 verse 8, if I'm not wrong, that when we were still sinners, Christ died for us. And now, how much more now that we are righteous? You get?
Yeah.
So we understand too that love is a powerful thing, right?
Yeah.
But then the thing or let me wait for you.
Yeah.
They're asking if you're done.
You want
Yeah, I don't know. But we've just started, just scratched.
Manzi.
I want to reduce.
What do you?
Wish you were.
Even if we post interview.
So, like, church inafungwa sai?
Yeah,
by
by 7:30, but
7:30.
he wants to get the gear.
Here. See, just chill. Like, we just shoot at some tangier too. Like, there's 101 batteries, 100%.
Anataka songa.
Kesho yanichia. Lisanichia natoka 7:30, so anafaa kuko by 7:30.
So, like, I'm not kidding.
Anachaka na gears.
unachaklangia sai. Hawezi chukua huku asubuhi.
Tembe 7:30.
So unataka zote?
Zinachukua no 12.
But Lynn, for the beauty of what we said, the Tuesday thing, just give us another 30 minutes. Okay, 20. Okay, 20. The beauty about the way we said we be the whole day of Tuesday, we set it for such things.
Elijah. Nikuulize, si anastay hapa, what if mtampakia nimlete?
Ni anahitaji.
But nina nataka ile.
We just finish those 20. Yeah. Okay. In 30 minutes.
Okay. The conversation was starting, yeah?
It was just, the whole thing of masculinity was starting.
Yeah. But I was just sharing on love and explaining that the Lord taught me that love is actually the most powerful thing.
Can we package it this way? And then you continue. The reason why we as men, both women and men, but the reason why the medicine to killing toxic masculinity is the love of God.
Mm-hmm.
Then continue.
So let me say, I just continue on that the love of God, once we know what love is and we experience love, we now discover who we are and then we start loving others, right? And I've shared my testimony and I want to urge even everybody who will watch this. Everybody was saying who has a complaint about their parents and the way they are raising them. I just want to challenge you to love them as well. Because our parents themselves are raising us from a place of hurt. They are human beings who are in need of love themselves. You get?
Yeah.
So themselves, they have never been parents like in 2024 before. There are a lot of parameters they are learning on field.
But Manu, can I be honest with you?
So,
it's a bit hard.
It's very hard.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to love someone who abused you.
That's the thing. That's why I'm saying we really need the love of God. You really need to get love. You really need to be whole. And nobody can love without God. I tell you the truth.
Yeah.
You cannot love without God.
Yeah.
Why? Because love is deeper than what we say. It's not I love you. Check it. The formula of love is John 3:16. For God so loved that he gave his only begotten son, that whoever would believe shall have life. The formula of love is this. Love involves death and life. Love, if I say I love you, I kill myself so that you live.
Yeah.
You get me? So even around us, very few people understand what love is. If I say I love you, there is death in the equation. I have to die for you to live. Like constantly, a part of me will have to die. We can't live both of us.
Can I say a statement on that point?
Yeah.
This is one time I was asking God, why is it so hard being in a relationship? Because he went on ahead and told me, I asked him why our relationship is so hard. Then he went on ahead and told me because it's the place that we are required to be selfless.
Yeah.
It's a place of selfless. So
if all of you in the relationship are alive, all of you want something, there is no love. Love involves me dying for you to live. And that's not possible unless you have the love of God, the life of God in you. So now once you die, you give life to the other person. That's why God tells in the Bible, he gives us the commandment that love God because God is trying to live in this season through you, but it's only through you dying. If you say you love God, you die for him on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So that he will live in this dimension through you. You get me? So if I say I love Donnell, it means I had ego, I had plans, I had money, I had all of that. I'm dying to all of that for Donnell to be alive. So I'm selfless. There's no longer Manu. There's only Donnell. You get me? So when I'm saying I'm urging anybody to try and love their parents, it's impossible unless you have the love of God. Why? You understand that someone died for you, but now he died for you. 2 Corinthians 5:25. That Jesus died for us so that us who live now, we do not live for ourselves.
Yeah.
But we live for the one who died for us.
Yeah.
Right? So the expectation of Jesus right now, that we receive his love and we express this back to him in the same manner that ourselves we choose to die for him to live through us. Are you getting it?
I get it.
You see?
Yeah.
And so far, if you want to know or if you want to see your parents, like have a relationship with them, express that love you have from God as a Christian, express it, channel it towards them, accept to die for them to live, and you'll see how themselves they're desperate for love.
I want to add something.
Damn.
Joseph in the Bible understood, first of all, Joseph, when he was back in his father's house, he had a dream. And the dreams were revolving around being bowed down to, even when he was a lastborn.
Yeah.
Even when you faced through ridicule, don't be fooled. Joseph understood his identity when he was very young. Hence, he wouldn't have done the things he did. And this what happened. After some point, the brothers of Joseph, betrayed him, sold him, or rather threw him away. And time for forgiveness came. And he forgave his family and helped them for one reason. Because the latter shall be greater than the former. One part we need to understand is our parents can never be better than what they already are. But guess what? We think that our parents were raised for us, but were raised for them. You think that me, Donnell, it's my parent who was brought for me, to sustain me, to grow me. And what happens? I get angry. I'm like, why isn't my mom doing this? Why isn't my father doing this? Why is the father of that person doing this and their mother doing that? But God is like, Donnell, you're getting it all wrong. The reason I brought you to this world is for you to be a gift to them. That's why you're to be better than them. There is the moment I heard that truth, because I heard it, it broke me. Because I'm like, this truth is making me let go of the things I've believed.
Yeah.
The things I've believed about my parents, I have now to let them go. Because we're in Gen Z and we have a lot of knowledge. You even have a lot of theory about parenting. A lot of it. Like a parent should be like this. It's like, these parents suck. And now you have to let go of that and be like, man, it's me who was brought here for them.
And can I say something on that point also? And for you to actually achieve that objective of being that you came on this earth for them, for you to achieve it, you actually need to also get it. It's like you can only get that from God and not anywhere else. Is it making sense? Because the same aspect that you're saying, we loved because we were first loved. Like we had no blueprint on how to love, or we didn't know what love was, right? So for us to also kind of sort of achieve that objective for our parents and kind of sort of be there for them, we can just but only get that blueprint from spending time with God.
And I think to continue this episode from next time, the title should be The 21st Century Man is Not Loved. That's a good title, because men don't feel loved.
For sure.
Men feel conditional love.
That's true, bro.
21st century men feel conditional love. And
it's like our identity and our value, everyone wants to place it based off of the things around us rather than that which we carry.
You know what I mean? It's they will love me when I fit in this parameter. And until the 21st century man understands the love of God, they're screwed, because the men want to be loved. And the reason why 21st century man is struggling is not the head of the family, is not in his authority, in his place of dominion, is because they're not understanding love. They're not loved. Because what? Normal circumstances are telling them, dude, there's no love. Man, even my own father, we never do for him birthdays, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And we expect him to do so much for us.
So much.
He won't even ask. Why men don't even like asking. They want, can you do something small for me?
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know, like men take the smallest thing. No wonder you hear they're cheating with house help. and receptionist, because men, that
Because they see us.
small
They
thing.
see them, like in that situation, not they see us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The enemy has understood, because you don't feel loved, I know where to attack you. I know where to touch you. And it's okay. I replace love with this ego. I replace
Can I
love.
say something? To reiterate on that point that the 21st century man is not being loved. I was hanging out with my friends yesterday. Campus friends, boys. So both ladies. So one of them was actually going on ahead and telling me, by the way, I expect my man to do this and this and this and that. So I went on ahead and changed that narrative, and I was like, will you go on ahead and do that? The same things. Then I was like, no, you have to give me valid reason. I'm like, what? Is it making sense?
Yeah.
Like it's like tunafinyilia yani men, bro. And it's like, how can I say it? Another point, another friend of mine, we were talking with him on Sunday. Dude went on ahead and was telling us, alikuwa ananiambia that ye alikuwa anataka kupeleka kubaya dim flani gifts even worth 200 G's or something, but day yake birthday the lady did not buy a socks. I'm like, bro, why are we doing this to men? Like, what's the agenda, bro? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's really going on? Because it's like you guys want, and actually the bit about it is that no one is speaking for us. And maybe those that are speaking for us, maybe they have a distorted view to it, but they're still trying. At least they're trying. Can I be honest with you? Let's talk about Andre Kibe. He really tries from his level. It's not
Even if
a
it's
good,
distorted.
even if it's distorted.
Men
It's time
feel
to
like-
speak out for men.
Men feel like Andrew Kibe care about her.
Yeah.
Even if he talks trash. Let me confess.
Yes.
Let me confess this to you guys. Any man I have seen come to church, their wives report them. Pastor, my husband this and this.
Right.
And the pastor says, bring your husband. And the husband come, he's ready because he knows pastor is going to fight them. But guess what pastor shows them? Shows them love. And that's how men in this church stick and change. Because they're like, if I knew I'll come, my wife has reported me. But guess what? We're in that office and the pastor is speaking for me. And my wife ends up telling me sorry. And I'm like, Pastor, you've understood me. The reason I've been behaving that way, it's a sign of rebellion. Because I'm not a woman, I can't speak.
Yeah.
So I'm doing things as a sign of rebellion. So they're like, they enter in that office, Pastor, the manhood the wife stripped off.
Yeah.
Pastor is returning it. And then the man feels confident now. He's feeling like, the wife is being told, have you tried listening to your husband more often? She says no. But the man is like, what do you mean, Pastor? You've understood it. Guys, I think it's for me now, it's a prayer point. As men of God, men who are of Jesus, can we allow God to love us so that this love, we can take it to other men?
Amen.
Because there's nothing else that will change men. Nothing else. How many young men in this church come to me and they're like, Donnell, when you're not okay, we're not. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, we don't talk a lot. They're like, Donnell, you advise us so much. Like, you're like that father figure. Meaning the little I do for them, I communicate the love of God through them, through that.
Yeah.
How many men need this, man? And men in the church, can we rise to the occasion? Why do you think churches are full of women and not of men?
Because no one is speaking. It's speaking up for men.
You said something critical. You shall know them by their fruits. Now you've brought church matters, which is big, which I don't think about a lot. But if you shall know them by their fruits, it means church has not yet reached that place of understanding the love of God because of that aspect of religion. If it was, you'd see a lot of the church you see a lot of men in. No, that's a successful church. That ministry is doing it right. They're doing it right. When you see a church has a lot of men, than doing it right. Can I tell you why? Those women, see, they're experiencing God the right way. They will go back home, submit to their husband. The husband will be like, this woman has changed. By the time they're coming here, there's a way.
Oh, yeah. Because you can't claim at you love God, you're chilling from, I'm not throwing shade, don't get it twisted. You're out here chilling, doing all this religious, what religion does, it always substitutes the religious activities for the power of the Holy Spirit. So you can't be claiming on ahead, you can pray all these hours, then you go on ahead and talk to your husband in a shit way. It doesn't add up. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
But unaenda level sasa husband anafaa kuwa married.
But I'm just saying a quick question.
Yeah.
Donnell, let me ask, can I share something? December last year, she's my friend. She's called Josie. Mad respect for her. So I went to her place. Her place at their shags, nini. They're pretty well off, nini. So I went there for Christmas. So the last day, the December 25th, there were like a lot of people in the house and all that. So me, just by maybe behavior, nini, people can be like, okay, yeah, you just look like a Christian or something. It's not like I speak it out or something. But I want you to show you this scenario. So we went on ahead. So there are like a number of people in the house, nini. So what she did, she ensured that everyone got a place. Only the matter is azilelewa kwa shida. Sijui na make sense. She went on ahead and ensured that everyone got attended. Everyone had a place to sleep. Then, with me, I had no place to sleep. Do you know that lady did? She came with the blanket. She came to the dining set. Akaniambia, Linford, here's one blanket. There is no other blanket. It's like a big blanket. So she told me, use this, cover yourself up, let's sleep on the table. Like this, like in class and all that. Something hit me about that. I stayed I remember I stayed for like an hour. Are you seeing love? Is it making sense? She ensured every single person was attended to. Then she came to a place whereby it wasn't comfortable for her. But you know what I mean? But she ensured that I was also good. Like, you know what I mean? So I guess at that particular moment, something hit me. If you see that, then she goes on ahead and tells you she worships a God or she believes in a God. Then I go on ahead and tell you that I believe in a God. Which God will you go for?
The one that I saw through love, through action. The one that I saw through action.
Because just figure out this whole aspect. It didn't matter whether I prayed in tongues or how much I knew scripture. All that mattered was I emanating love. She emanated the very basicity of love. She died what you're telling us.
Yeah.
She became selfless.
That was deep.
You know what I mean? That was uncomfortable, bro. Like, you are assured. This is your folks' place. Like, you have a bed, but you choose not to. And you choose to stick out with someone. You know what I mean? So, it just went on ahead and placed me, and it made me realize that I guess that whole week and the whole of December, I just started asking myself, am I really true? Because Jesus was like, you shall know them by their fruits, bro. Because can I be honest, in that situation, I'm gonna be honest with you, mi ningekuwa selfish. Mi ningeensure kwanza niko kwa sport. Tusidanganyane hapo, my bro. Let's just not lie. Mi ningeensure I have my spot. Then, because I was like, mi ningekuwa like, me, you're not gonna inconvenience me. I'm gonna ensure that my spot is secured. You know what I mean? So it challenged me. I was like, was this what not that Jesus did really? Because what were they really attracted to, bro? He never preached from the Torah. He never preached from the Torah. The Pharisees did preach from the Torah. They are the most prayerful people. They're the most people who knew scripture. But what was so different with Jesus that tax collectors identified?
You know what Jesus did? Picture this. Jesus was in a crowd.
Mhm.
With so many people.
Mm.
And there's a man on a tree looking towards Jesus like everyone else. But guess what he does? He turns and looks at that tree. Among all those people, the one on that tree felt the most unworthy. But he said, I want to peep and see who's this person. And it's not that he shook the tree so that everyone was attracted. There was a lot of noise, Manu. Cha, 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 cha. Can you imagine? It's noisy. Cha, cha. It's so noisy. He's walking. Everyone is everywhere. And then as he goes, he just looks on a tree. And the man is like, whoa, like, I didn't even like shout to anything. I didn't even call him. He's the kind of a person where that woman touches him and everyone was touching him. And he says, no, but there's a particular woman. The one who felt the most unworthy. He turned his face to them. Jesus was the kind of a person who, as you said, he didn't talk the Torah. He did, but that wasn't him going to the synagogues all the time, but he was amongst the men. And while he was with the men, what did he do? He showed love. He just showed pure love.
Because at that very moment, that woman with the issue of blood, she was rejected everywhere, bro. Right?
Was rejected everywhere.
But Jesus just loved her.
Jesus just loved her.
That's what makes the difference.
After Jesus turned,
Yeah.
she thought Jesus would whoop me out.
Yeah, right.
And even the disciples wanted to whoop her. But even Jesus was like, relax, like, your disciples, relax. I felt some powers left me. The disciples are like, hey, what's going on? And he looked at her. Jesus was so personal with everyone.
Yeah, bro, that's
Jesus, for Jesus, time stopped. Time stopped and it was, now it's me and you. And he looked at the lady in the eyes and told her, you're healed. Like that was Jesus for you. That was the masculinity that if we're to do greater shall they do greater things than I did. That's
it's hard.
But how can you display that when you've not felt that personalized, Manu, as you said, that personalized relationship with Jesus? There's no way you will look at someone else, Manu, and give them personalized love like that. And as you said, dying until Jesus, you said something powerful. You said dying. You love him, so you have to die until he is now able to emanate. And let me tell you, Pastor Curtis emanated that. Pastor Curtis would look at you and time would stop. And it would be like, and he tells you, I'm seeing you. You're like, man, people don't see my efforts. How does he see my effort? What happens at that moment? Jesus speaks to you through him. You cannot see, but Jesus is telling you, my son, I can see what you're doing. But we can't be there when we can't love. And it starts by men. Guys, I'm sorry for all the women who are feeling emasculated right now, but it all starts with men. When God was creating, he started with a man. If this thing can't start with a man, it cannot flow. We need to continue.
Onafunga. Hey, bro. Closing statement?
Okay. I think to close, I'll just
don't go. Just sneak around so
stick
that
around
you
there.
can cut up.
I think my closing statement will be telling to every man around that we have to be honest. We need love as much. And a man should not be stuck into his past.
Yeah.
You should be thinking about the future.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be thinking about what your parent did bad or anything that happened. I should think about what are you going to give the next generation.
Yeah.
Proverbs says that a good man leaves wealth to his children's children.
Yeah.
You see, so a good man is supposed to focus on the future.
Yeah.
So the last statement I would say is, guys, let's make a change. Let's change this narrative for the future, for the next generation.
But you're shooting next
To pick up from Manu, mine is just a continuing sentence statement. For you to live for your children's children, it means you also need to have things. You know that part where you need to accumulate so that your children's children. And when we talk about this inheritance, we talk about even wealth in culture. What is this telling you? That you're not existing as a man according to the word for yourself. You have a generation and another generation. So as a man, 2 generations, 3 generations are waiting for you. So young man, as you indulge, as you destroy yourself, just know you're affecting so many people. Even in your generation, many people are affected by your downfall. And that's what the enemy wants. So as a man, how do we get this inheritance? Seek ye first the kingdom, and the rest shall follow. And this kingdom is a kingdom of love. So allow yourself to be, now let me not talk churchy. Allow yourself to be okay the way you are in God's presence. Be okay. You masturbate, you watch porn, you do all, just go to him the way you are, because through him fixing you, bro, you'll feel his love. And as men, there's so many things we can't do for ourselves. So don't stay in that cocoon. The more you stay there, the more your heart hardens, and the more you become worse. We're testifying over God that we know.
One thing that I'd also like to tell men out there is that you guys are not alone. You know what I mean? Like, because sometimes you might be going through things, then you just feel like, oh my God, come I'm alone on this. So let me just close it with this one statement. That men, one thing that I've really learned from my heartbreak is that you're not defined by the position in which you have among men. You're defined by the position in which you have in him. That's why it's all at. Because it didn't matter if people hated on Jesus or whether they did hate him. He was still Jesus. Because he knew that which defined him, that which defined his identity and value was not what people said, but rather that which God said about him.
His masculinity came from the source.
From the source. His masculinity was based off of that which God said and not that which men said. Because men, we are always distorted. Because remember the time where Paul and when Jesus went on ahead and asked the disciples, who do men say? They said Elijah, said this and this. But Peter went on ahead and said, so Jesus went on ahead and asked Peter, but who do you think, who do you think I am? Then Peter went on ahead and said that you're the Son of God. Then Jesus went on ahead and said, flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but only God. Is it making sense? Men will always give you a part. It was true. He came, he had the spirit of Elijah, they would always give you the distorted view. They'll never give you the real you. The real you can only get and access it from him.
That was my
raw. We need.
My own. And Linford, we need to create a community out of this. For sure. Because the more we talk to these guys, we rally them so that next time we get to hear their stories. There's so many people who listen to these things and we
when
want
they
to
listen,
hear.
create a way to have feedbacks.
Yeah.
Tell them comments.